Hey everybody, welcome back to the Scentatar Fragrance channel. Y'all all know that I review fragrances, colognes, perfumes, and all things scent related, and y'all know how to support me down below. So let's jump into this brand new house and this brand new brand. Val Yvonne is about the only lady and the only person that I know on YouTube, and really in the fragrance realm that I know of, is talked and introduced this brand. Now, I did reach out to them, and they were very generous enough to send me their whole line, a sample of their whole line, my way samples, seven of them to review and just to share with y'all. And they were very generous to do that all the way from France. They sent me a handwritten note, which always means a lot in my world. I think that means that they care and that they're really putting a good foot forward. So, very happy to introduce this brand and showcase this brand to you today. The first one I want to introduce to you is Lai Yves Red Blue. Now, this one is a very interesting rum fragrance. It has a smokiness to it. Mostly I get rum and smoke. There's, of course, different things going on. This is a French house, very French. And if you're familiar with French fragrances, they tend to be very smooth, kind of cool, and sometimes collective or more of on the mysterious side. And they do love to use their florals in a very good way. Of course, France being kind of one of the capitals and one of the regions of some of the best flowers, especially rose and like lavender in the entire world. So with Gross, of course. So this fragrance has a distinct smokiness. It brought me back to a childhood memory of making jerky. If you've ever made anything like that with food and you add a little bit too much spice on the pan, and you come back and there's those burnt little remnants of spices on a pan, there's a distinct smokiness that comes from like smoked or overheated over time, slow heated spices, where it's mostly almost like a burnt charcoal smell, but there's still a little bit of sharpness to that smoke. So a very distinct smokiness to it. It smells almost like patchouli in a way, and the rum is more of like kind of a flat, kind of just a classy, smooth rum. Now, this fragrance might sound like a rich fragrance. It might sound like might be an overly complex fragrance, but this is quite a light fragrance. All of their fragrances are mostly pretty light, pretty wearable, and they're not going to exactly shout. They're pretty inoffensive for y'all who want really big performance, big body, bold fragrances, especially for a niche fragrance. This brand is more on the traditional side of things. As far as styling goes, but these fragrances are very modern with very modern ingredients. So that one, the first one with rum and smoke, was Lai Yves Red Blue. So the next one is Lai Passat. Now I wanted to bring this one pretty early on and share it with you because this one has coffee and licorice nuances. Now there are some tobacco licorice nuances like Versace the Dreamer. This one is coffee and licorice. So this might be something some of y'all have really been wanting and really been looking for. It's very interesting. It's actually very long wearing. Again, none of these fragrances were particularly shouters, but they did last a good while, even though they were quite on the soft side. Some of them lasted pretty well. This one, I think, was the best performer out of the bunch with a very wearable, everyday coffee licorice fragrance. Again, if you like I think it's Limpica Pour Homme, and if you like Versace the Dreamer, I think that you should seriously try this one out. Another one for those kinds of fragrance lovers, I think, was Valentino Umo, the Aqua Flanker, the Aqua version, which is a little bit hard to find, but a very wearable, creative, different fragrance, very interesting, and is quite an charmer of a fragrance too. This one actually, really pulled in attention in a really positive way. It does have almost an aquatic nature underneath it all, with a very wearable tobacco, very easygoing tobacco, and a pleasant kind of universal coffee note. And the coffee note almost has you can describe coffee as being like black and blonde. This to me is almost like a blonde or almost like a coconut coffee. So very light, like a light roast, a soft roast. So very interesting fragrance indeed. Really one of my favorites from the whole brand. The next one is 28. 28 degrees or 25, 28 aughts. Now, to my nose, this is a outright kind of aquatic fragrance with some very interesting florals going on. The florals here smell kind of like mimosa to my nose. And for me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of mimosa. But if you like yellow florals, if you really like florals in a really good way mixed with aquatics, um, this might just be for you. Very interesting fragrance, very wearable fragrance, very kind of easygoing and mass appealing. But there is a very distinctive floral quality that just permeates throughout this fragrance. So you have to like yellow florals, I think, to appreciate this fragrance a lot. But if you've been looking for an aquatic that really uses florals in a good way, it is blended very well. I can't deny that. It's just not for me, but a good fragrance overall. I feel like the ladies out there, if you want a more confident aquatic, or maybe you like to wear men's aquatic and you want something that you'd be really comfortable with wearing, I think you might just like 28 degrees, 28 aughts. I think that's how you say it. So the next one is a very creative name. It's a very creative fragrance. It's called Toi Toi Toi. Now this one, to my nose, is a interesting twist on a Tonka style fragrance. That's what I get out of it. I'm gonna do individual reviews of all these fragrances for y'all, and really give y'all a really good note breakdown, give you more details in the future. And I have a lot of brands and a lot of fragrances and things to share with y'all. But this fragrance here, I think is quite nice. I think it's interesting. I think that this one is soft. It doesn't smell like vanilla, but it almost leans a little bit towards vanilla. But it's not a gourmand fragrance. It doesn't smell overtly rich or like that, but it is a soft fragrance. In a way, it's almost like an interesting, very light cousin of YSL El Homme. If they made a YSL El Homme Eau Fresh, if they ever made a fresh version, I think that this is similar to it, but of course this is a little bit more artistic. Again, these aren't the strongest performing fragrances. They're a little bit soft. They're French in style. I think that they're very urban in their feel and their design. So not showers of fragrances. If that's anything so far that I could complain about or talk about, is that maybe I wish the concentration was a little bit stronger. But nice fragrances overall. The next one is a very nice fragrance too. This one's called Yvonne. This one is their interpretation and their fruity floral fragrance. This one smells a lot like raspberry to my nose. It's a nice fruity floral fragrance, but it has almost a little bit of lychee like feel to it. If you've never smelled lychee before, it's an exotic, I think, tropical fruit, and it has a distinct white flesh of a fruit kind of smell to it. It's very distinct and crisp. It's almost like white and green, and the smells. It's just very nice. It's a very nice fragrance. It's very wearable and very approachable. Almost dainty in a way. So a very pretty fragrance, but definitely has a little bit of its own character. It's not overtly sweet. So, but I do feel like every age of lady, young to old, could appreciate and could wear this fragrance. But it's just not overtly girly, but it still smells a little bit on that playful side of things. So if you've always wanted one of those, a little bit more artistic, not as sweet, but still a fruity floral, you might want to check this one out, ladies. Again, a very interesting brand, very inoffensive, perfect for the office, perfect for, being close to people. Like if you're going to go on a flight, if you're in a city, if you're close to people, perfect kind of thing for that. So the next one is Les Brumes. I think that might be how you say it. But again, I'll link all the names down in the description below. This one is quite interesting as well. This one is kind of giving me a interesting. I'm trying to describe. I'm trying to think of the notes that come to my head. It's almost like a ginger quality to it. To me, this has quite a gingery like smell to it. and it smells watery. It has a distinctive spiciness to it. It's like a water chestnut, a fresh cut ginger where it's watery and spicy. It has a little bit of floral nuances. This fragrance smells very natural. This fragrance smells can probably be used for aromatherapy. It smells very high quality, but again, you really have to like that kind of smell. For me, I do wish that there was it was had a little bit of density to it. I wish that it smells kind of floral in its style. But again, this is a French style, and it does smell quite a bit citrusy as well. So interesting fragrance, no doubt. I think that if you like YSL and maybe you wanted something more interesting, more daring, something that had more character, you might want to look at the Les Brumes. So let's talk about the last one here. Maybe I already shared it. I think this one is La Papier Carbone. No, I haven't shared this one yet. This one is a very interesting fragrance as well. Papier Carbone, I think, is an interesting fragrance. To me, it almost has similarities to, let me see here, I think La Passat. I think the Carbone is has a little bit more softness to it and almost like a tiny bit of tonka. Um, the La Passat had a little bit of an aquatic nature, and the tobacco nuances and the coffee nuances. And I meant the licorice, and it just really stands out. The licorice and the tobacco. So um, this one though, the Papier Carbone is just interesting. It's just so soft, so inoffensive, so wearable. It's almost one of those fragrances that's going to become a skin scent. And I do feel like a lot of these fragrances are going to kind of become personal skin scents, very austere, very mysterious, very close to the skin. This is going to appeal to a certain person. This brand is going to appeal to a certain type of person. Maybe you're that kind of person out there, and I really want to put this brand out there and share them with you because there's different styles of fragrances, there's different feels of fragrances for everybody out there. Hope that you like this video. Hope that you appreciate this content. Again, if you want to learn more, I'm going to link everything down in the description below. Of course, y'all know what to do. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and tell a friend about this channel to help me out if you like my content and if you like my, this video. So thank y'all so much for being here today. I very much appreciate you. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate all of my subscribers and everybody else out there. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for supporting me. Hope that you have fantastic holidays. And let me know what you think about French perfumery. Did any of these fragrances spark an interest in you? What do you think about the brand? Let me know what you think about how I'm doing. And I'll see you all next time. Have a fantastic day. Have a fantastic week. And I'll see you next time. And bye.